Days after she vanished, an incredible secret was revealed that transformed everything forever. The sun was riding high in the sky of Lakeside, Ohio, shining down on the intimate little suburb that buzzed with the excitement of an approaching high school graduation. But instead of laughter echoing from porches or the scent of barbecue wafting through the air, there was a heavy silence, a painful absence. Emma, the devoted single mother and beloved nurse, had been missing for days, leaving behind a frantic son, Jake, and the community on edge. Within hours, the news spread like wildfire, igniting fear and concern among the very fabric of their tight-knit neighborhood. In each corner of Lakeside, people exchanged worried glances over picket fences. Jake, barely 18 but so burdened with worry, felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. His mother was supposed to be there for him, smiling proudly as he accepted his diploma. Instead, he was organizing search parties, rallying support, and endlessly plastering flyers on trees. Every night, as the sun dipped down, his heart grew heavier. How could this be happening? He was supposed to be looking forward to graduation, not searching endlessly for the one person who had always been his anchor. "Let us find Emma," echoed through the streets as Jake and his friends loaded into cars, their youthful faces darkened with worry. The thrill of their teenage rebellion clashed with the grim reality of the hunt. Yet with every door they knocked on and with each flyer handed out, Jake sensed something deeper rooted in the fabric of their suburban lives. In all the busyness of their community, families like his often felt overlooked. Emma wasn't just a nurse, she was a fighter, and her absence painfully pinpointed their hidden struggles. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days turned into an agonizing week, drifting like the summer breeze yet heavy as a cloud. Despair poured over Jake like a thick fog. Just when his head seemed ready to explode, a small package arrived in the mail. Inside was a letter from Emma. With shaking hands, he unfolded the paper, the words blurring through his tears. As he read her hidden truths buried deep within those lines, he began to see his mother differently. The revelations shook him. Who he thought they were shattered in pieces, leaving him to confront the raw reality of their lives. Jake felt the surge of responsibility carve out a new identity for him, one that intertwined not just with his mother's fight but also with the community's hidden fractures. Beneath the surface of red, white, and blue bunting that hung everywhere, sat secrets begging to be unearthed. With graduation looming in mere hours, Jake stood at a crossroads, heart pounding and feeling the intensity of his two worlds colliding. Could he find the courage to lead not just for himself but for his community? Would they find Emma before the ceremonies began? One thing became painfully clear: everything was about to change, whether he was ready or not. The day dawned gray and heavy, contrasting sharply with the bright expectations of graduation. Jake stood at the window, staring out at the overcast horizon, the letter from his mother clutched in his hand. The words she had written, so raw and revealing, churned in his mind like a whirlpool, mixing memories with newfound truths. He had always seen Emma as his rock, the unwavering beacon of strength, but the letter unveiled a different layer of her life, one filled with hardship, battles waged in silence, and fears that shadowed even her brightest moments. With each passing second, Jake could feel the urgency building. Graduating today felt like a hollow achievement without Emma there. She had poured everything into his upbringing, her absence crawled under his skin like a persistent itch. Graduation, typically celebrated with joyous cheers, now loomed as a bitter reminder of loss. That he cast his eyes back to the room, a cornucopia of caps, gowns, and balloons. The graduation banner hung crookedly, a tiny imperfection in a world that felt increasingly chaotic. Friends were bustling around him, discussing their future plans, making memories he couldn't fully engage with. Instead of laughter, he felt heavy-hearted, almost as if he was disappearing beneath the weight of the moment. Pushing through the crowd at the school, he spotted a familiar face: Mr. Donovan, the guidance counselor. The man's brow was furrowed, and his expression mirrored the tension that filled the air. As Jake approached, Donovan's eyes pierced through the belligerent laughter of his classmates. "Jake," he said gently, pulling him aside. "How are you holding up?" I'm trying." His voice cracked, revealing the depth of his struggle. "I found this letter from my mom, and it's just hard to celebrate when she's not here." Donovan placed a reassuring hand on Jake's shoulder. "If you need to talk, I'm here. Your mom is strong, Jake, and whatever she's facing, you're not alone." Jake felt the briefest flicker of comfort from his counselor's words. Maybe he wasn't alone, others felt it too. As he stepped away, Jake noticed a group of classmates looking at him, their smiles faltering like the sun behind gray clouds. "Hey Jake, we understand it's tough. If you need anything, we're here for you," one of them called out. It felt genuine, and he nodded. He'd never considered how much he and Emma's struggles had touched others until now. His thoughts spun back to the secrets hiding in plain sight among their community. Emma had fought not just for herself but for those invisible battles, and maybe her disappearance was tied to something larger than he could understand. He had to dig deeper. Graduation was now merely a transition point, a point in time before the adventure truly began. He glanced at his phone. His friends were waiting for him to step into the spotlight. But first, there was something crucial he needed to do. With a sudden surge of resolve, he turned and walked out of the gym. The crowd's celebratory chatter faded behind him, replaced by the sound of his own heartbeat thrumming in his ears. He needed answers, not just for himself but for Emma, for the neighborhood, for understanding the truth they all shared. That he headed to the one place he felt Emma's presence linger, the community library. Maybe there he would find the threads connecting her past to the present. As he pushed open the heavy wooden doors, the tangible scent of books enveloped him. Each title on the shelf felt like a whispered clue, each book a doorway to the truth he sought. But as he moved deeper inside, he stumbled upon a strange sight, an old newspaper clipping pinned to the bulletin board that caught his breath. It was an article about a missing woman and the date. It was eerily close to Emma's disappearance. Jake's heart raced. What kind of secret lay hidden in that cutout, waiting to be revealed? Just as he turned to investigate further, the door creaked open behind him. He froze. Could it be? Would he finally uncover the missing piece or put himself at risk? Jake's breath hitched in his throat as he felt the door tremble against the frame. The footsteps were hesitant, echoing in the empty library like a heartbeat in the stillness. He turned slowly, half expecting to see a librarian, maybe even a patron lost in a book. But it wasn't anyone he recognized. The woman standing in the doorway looked worn and weary. Her eyes, dark and intense, carried a weight that made Jake's heart race even faster. He sensed an urgency there, a pull that drew him closer. Something about her felt familiar, as if just beyond his memory's grasp. "Jake?" she asked, stepping further inside. Her voice was cautious, like she was afraid to frighten him away. "I thought I might find you here." Who are you?" he managed, confusion coloring his tone. The newspaper clipping fluttered from his grip and landed quietly on the floor, as if yielding its secrets to the atmosphere thick with tension. "I'm Clara," she said, brushing a few strands of hair behind her ear, an anxious gesture. "I knew your mother." The acknowledgement landed like a stone in a still pond, sending ripples of disbelief through him. "You knew her?" I need to know where she is. I need to understand." Clara looked around cautiously, then stepped closer. "Listen, there's a lot I need to tell you. It's not safe here. Can we go somewhere?" Instinct urged him to comply. As he glanced back at the newspaper clipping, the words missing and disappearance swirled in his mind. The air was thick with secrets, and Clara seemed like the key to unlocking them. "Okay, let us go," he finally replied, urgency replacing hesitation. They slipped out of the library and into the cool afternoon air, the clouds still draped over the sky as if echoing the heaviness in his heart. Clara led him to a quiet corner of the park, away from prying eyes. The soft rustling of leaves mingled with the sound of distant laughter from kids at play. Jake's heart pounded not just from the unexpected company but from the hope that maybe, just maybe, he was finally on the right path. Your mother, she did things for people, Jake, things that put her in danger. She didn't just disappear. Clara paused, her eyes clouding with emotion. She's been protecting you. Protecting me? The weight of the words crashed against him. Protecting me from what? Clara swallowed hard, the gravity of the situation pressing on her. Their SA group, a powerful group that doesn't want her to speak out. She found out something big, and when she did, she was forced to go underground. The pieces began falling into place in Jake's mind, forming a picture he had been struggling to comprehend. His mother wasn't just a victim, she was a fighter. So why didn't she tell me? Why didn't she come back? Because, Clara said, her expression softening, she feared for your safety. She thought keeping you away from her world would keep you safe. A column of rage mixed with worry surged within him. And you know all this? I was part of that world, she admitted quietly. I tried to help her, but it was too late. I didn't know what was happening until it was almost too late for her. Jake clenched his fists, a swirl of emotions, anger, confusion, grief all clawing for his attention. What should I do? How can I bring her back? Clara took a deep breath, her voice steady but urgent. First, you need to understand the truth about what she discovered. It could change everything, Jake. It's about more than just her. It's about the community. And we need to act fast. He felt the weight of her words, the intensity amplifying the burden he already carried. Time was of the essence. The truth was out there, a truth that could pull everything together or unravel even more. Tell me everything, he replied, determination surging through him. As Clara began recounting the hidden tales of danger and deceit, Jake knew this journey wouldn't just reshape his understanding of his mother but also of himself. But as they delved deeper into the shadows of what lay ahead, an unsettling feeling crept back into the pit of his stomach. Was he ready to face whatever darkness awaited, to learn how far the web of lies extended, and would the truth he sought indeed lead him closer to Emma or plunge him deeper into turmoil? Clara took a moment, her gaze drifting into the distance as if trying to summon the right words from the air between them. The rustling leaves seemed to grow louder in the silence, each shuffle echoing the weight of what she was about to say. Jake's heart thudded heavily in his chest, a mixture of anticipation and dread brewing like a storm. Your mother stumbled onto something one night, Clara began, her voice almost a whisper. Something secretive, connected to a powerful organization that's been operating in the shadows of our community for years. They can be ruthless, and when she found out what they were really doing, it changed everything. Jake felt a chill run down his spine, his mind racing with images of his mother piecing together fragments of dark truths, risking it all to shine a light on what lay hidden. What kind of organization? And what did she discover? They're involved in, well, it's a complex network. Money laundering, corruption, even human trafficking, Clara said, her eyes darkening with the weight of the reality. She discovered they were bringing people into our town with promises of a better life, only to turn around and exploit them. Your mother wanted to expose them, to save those people. But that angered them, and they struck back. A lump formed in Jake's throat as the gravity of her words sank in. His mother, that quiet but fierce woman who had always fought for what was right, had put herself in the line of fire. He imagined her, courage spilling from her heart as she navigated the dangerous truths of others' lives. But why didn't she tell me? Why did she think I'd be safer not knowing? Because she couldn't take the risk, Clara said, her voice thick with emotion. If you had known, they might have come after you, too. She wanted to keep you safe, even if it meant sacrificing her own freedom. The anger inside Jake purified into something sharper resolve. We have to find her. I can't just wait around. There's got to be some way to help her. Clara regarded him with a mixture of admiration and concern. It's not that simple. The people behind this, they won't stop at anything. If you start digging too deep, you could put yourself in danger. You're her son. They'll see you as a threat to their operation. Yet the fear paled against the urgency roaring inside him. What's the plan, then? If she wanted me to be safe, I need to bring her home. What do we need to do? First, we gather information, find out who's involved, where they operate, Clara said firmly. I can help you, but we have to go about it carefully. There are people who might still be loyal to your mother. We'll need their trust. Just then, a strange noise interrupted their conversation. A rustling in the nearby bushes made Jake's heart race again. Clara's eyes widened slightly, alertness crackling through the air. What was that? He whispered, his eyes darting towards the sound, heart thrumming wildly. I don't know, but we should move, Clara urged, taking a step back, her demeanor shifting to urgency. Let us get to my car. We need to check if we're being followed. Jake's pulse quickened as they hurried towards the path leading to the parking lot. Each echo of their footsteps felt like a countdown, a reminder that time was slipping away. He could feel Clara's tension beside him, the air buzzing with an unspoken fear. And as they neared the car, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. What other secrets lay waiting for him in the dark corners of the past? Would he be able to face the truth about his mother's fight and the shadows that captured her? The car was just up ahead, and Jake could see the flickering light from its interior. He reached for the door, but Clara hesitated, her eyes darting toward the bushes again, the tension between them palpable. Wait, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Let us take a look around first. Jake swallowed hard, feeling the air thicken with apprehension. They both crouched low, their breaths shallow as they scanned the surroundings. The moonlight illuminated the parking lot with a silver hue, but shadows still played tricks on their minds, making every rustle seem like a looming threat. Jake's mind swirled with fear and determination. He forced himself to focus, to breathe steadily. This was about his mother. He couldn't back down now. What if they're already here? He whispered urgently. They might be. We can't let them see us, Clara replied, her eyes scanning the dark corners of the lot. She was calm, composed. It gave him strength, but the gnawing worry clutched at his gut. After a few tense moments that felt like hours, Clara nodded. Okay, we're clear for now. Let us go. Jake opened the door, and they quickly jumped inside, locking it behind them. The car smelled faintly of leather and something floral, the scent of the air freshener Clara always kept pinned to the vents. It felt oddly comforting in the midst of the chaos. Clara turned the engine over and the low purr of the motor ignited a flicker of adrenaline in his veins. We need to find out where your mother might have gone. There could be people we can talk to, she said as she pulled out of the lot, glancing in the rearview mirror nervously. People who knew her? Jake asked, feeling a surge of hope. What about Mr. Harris? He always seemed to know everything that happened in town. Maybe he saw something? Clara nodded slowly. Good idea. We'll start there. But we have to be careful. If anyone is watching, they'll notice that we're digging around. As they drove, the urgency of the situation settled over them like heavy fog. The streetlights flickered past like fireflies, casting fleeting shadows against the windows. The thought of his mother, trapped somewhere, producing a visceral ache in Jake's chest. He glanced at Clara, who was biting her lip, lost in her own thoughts. Clara, what if we can't find her? What if his voice trailed off, the sheer terror of that scenario freezing him for a moment? We will find her, Clara said firmly. You have to believe that. Your mother is strong. If she's alive, she's out there fighting. We just need to keep pushing forward. His heart thudded in response, fueled by her conviction. She was right. As they turned onto a quieter road, a twist of realization hit him hard. What if my mother didn't go into hiding? Maybe she's already trying to expose them? Then we need to catch up to her before it's too late, Clara said, her determination matching his. As they approached Mr. Harris's house, a looming figure caught Jake's eye, just a flash, hardly more than a silhouette standing by a lamppost, cloaked in shadow. A wave of panic washed through him. Clara, did you see that? He said, pointing. I think someone's watching us. Clara's eyes widened, and she quickened her pace, racing to the nearest turn. A flurry of emotions crashed over Jake, fear, pride, desperation. The shadows weren't just memories lurking in the corners, they were alive, and they were closing in. "What do we do?" he asked, his voice trembling, grappling with the reality that every step brought them closer to uncovering a dangerous truth. "We get inside now, and we're not alone anymore," Clara said, urgency lacing her tone. As they quickly exited the car, heartbeats pounding in sync, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that something ominous was on the horizon. They were about to unravel everything his mother had fought for, but he also sensed they were being drawn into something much bigger than themselves, and with that thought crashing over him, he realized that this was only the beginning. What other shadows were waiting to confront them around the corner? Jake and Clara moved quickly, their footsteps muffled against the asphalt as they approached Mr. Harris's house. The old place loomed before them, a relic of another time, its dark windows like empty eyes watching them with suspicion. The front porch creaked beneath their weight as they stepped up to the door, and Jake could feel the tension rising like steam in the air. "Let us hope he is still awake," Clara whispered, her voice steady but quiet, as if the shadows themselves might be listening. Jake knocked, his knuckles rapping against the wood, heart in his throat. Would Mr. Harris have answers? Or would he turn them away, shielding whatever secrets hid beneath his roof? The door opened a crack, revealing Mr. Harris's familiar face, lined with worry and age. His eyes flickered with recognition, and for a moment, Jake's hopes soared. But as the shadow behind the door stretched wider, apprehension clouded Mr. Harris's expression. "Jake? Clara? What are you doing here at this hour?" As soon as he let them in, Jake felt a rush of warmth from the cozy interior, but it was tinged with unease. He glanced around at the scattered newspapers and a few flickering lamps that illuminated the room, revealing not just a man but a lifetime of memories etched into every corner. "Mr. Harris, we need your help." "It's about my mother," Jake said, his voice cracking slightly. Clara stood firm beside him, her presence grounding him. "Your mother?" Mr. Harris glanced at them, concern deepening in his furrowed brow. "She hasn't returned home?" "Not for days," Jake replied, desperation creeping in. "We think something's wrong. She might be in danger." "Danger?" Mr. Harris hesitated, as if weighing his next words heavily on a scale of decision. "You two have to understand, Jake, this is not a simple search. Your mother, she's tangled in something deeper than either of you know." "What do you mean?" Clara pressed, her voice sharp with urgency. He sighed, rubbing his temples as if trying to dispel a memory. "I've seen things, heard things that connect her to some powerful people in this town. People who wouldn't take kindly to anyone snooping around." "What kind of people?" Jake's pulse raced as he grabbed the edge of the table, trying to steady himself against the fast crescendo of fear. "They're dangerous, Jake. And they have a vested interest in keeping secrets her secrets." Clara stepped forward, her voice taut with worry. "Is that why she went missing? To protect herself?" "I believe so. She was investigating something tied to the very heart of this community. It's all connected." "What does that mean? What does she know?" Jake snapped, feeling the walls close in around him. Mr. Harris shook his head, his expression full of regret. "I can't tell you everything, but I might have something that could help." Jake felt a flicker of hope. "What is it?" Mr. Harris moved toward a dusty bookshelf and pulled a small, weathered box from the shelf. He placed it on the table, dust motes swirling in the air. "Your mother entrusted this to me a while back. She said if anything ever happened to her, it would lead you to the truth." With trembling hands, Jake opened the box. Inside nestled a small journal, the leather cover worn but familiar. The sight of it sent a shiver down his spine. His mother had kept journals throughout his childhood, recording moments and feelings, but this one radiated a different energy, a sense of importance, as if it held answers to questions they hadn't even thought to ask. "What's in there?" Clara asked, leaning closer. "Can we open it?" "Be careful. It could be more dangerous than you realize." Jake's heart raced as he reached for the journal, feeling the weight of his mother's life, her secrets, and her power to expose whatever dark force lay behind her disappearance. As he flipped open the cover, the faint smell of her perfume lingered from the pages, wrapping him in a fleeting embrace. But what he found written inside threw him back. The words swirled and danced on the pages, calling forth shadows of anxiety and determination. Lines and paragraphs detailed risks taken, names of people involved, places visited, each word a breadcrumb leading him deeper into chaos. A sudden noise broke his focus. Jake shot up, and they all turned toward the window. A figure slipped into the darkness outside, darting between the trees lining the yard. "Someone's out there," Clara said, panic creeping into her tone. "I'll check," Mr. Harris said, moving cautiously toward the door. "Wait," Jake called, fear gripping him. "We can't let anyone see us." But as Mr. Harris cracked open the door, Jake knew they were standing on the edge of something monumental, a cliff that shifted beneath their feet. Would they uncover the truth, or would deeper shadows consume them? In that moment, Jake understood this wasn't just a search for his mother anymore. It was a battle against the unseen forces that threatened to consume everything he loved. And as they stepped into the dark, Jake pondered if they had the strength to continue or if the darkness would finally win. What other secrets lurked in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike? Jake's heart raced, every instinct screaming at him to pull Clara back and slam the door shut. But the moment Mr. Harris stepped outside, all he saw was darkness. The air hung heavy, and the old house creaked as if it too sensed the ominous presence lurking just beyond its threshold. Clara's hand gripped his arm, fingers digging into his skin, grounding him in this moment of uncertainty. "What do we do?" she whispered, her voice barely a breath above the wind. "We need to find out who that was," Jake replied, urgency wrapping around the words. There could be answers out there. The journal in his hands felt like a lifeline, but the mysterious figure outside felt like a threat. They edged toward the door, hearts pounding, afraid to lose sight of Mr. Harris but unwilling to be caught off guard. Suddenly, they heard a rustle, and both of them jumped. "What was that?" Clara breathed, eyes wide. "Stay close," Jake murmured, fingers twitching towards the box where the journal lay. It felt like a ticking time bomb, every sentence a potential danger waiting to explode. Mr. Harris stepped back inside just as hastily as he had left. His expression was grim, the color drained from his face. "Don't go out there," he said, slamming the door behind him. "I didn't see anyone, but I felt something." "What do you mean?" Jake asked, his brow furrowed in confusion. The air felt different. Like pressure, as if we were being watched. Clara's grip on Jake tightened. "Okay, but we can't just sit here. We need to figure out what's going on." Mr. Harris hesitated, glancing toward the box. "You have the journal, Jake. Trust what your mother wrote. If anyone knows a way through this, it's her." With trembling hands, Jake flipped the pages, searching for anything that could guide them. He didn't want to dwell on the terrifying thought that his mother was still out there, possibly in peril. Each entry he read felt like a rattling echo of her voice, filled with caution, urgency, and unresolved mysteries. "There." Clara pointed at a particular page he skimmed. "It says something about the meeting place." "She gave us a hint, Jake." Jake squinted at the faded writing. It looked like a location, just outside of town, a place he'd heard whispers about but never thought much of. But why would she go there? Maybe it's where she discovered something she wasn't supposed to. Clara's eyes sparkled with determination. "We have to check it out. We can't wait any longer." As they soaked in the weight of that decision, the air changed again. A soft thump echoed from the other side of the house. Jake exchanged a glance with Clara and Mr. Harris, every muscle tense with shared fear. "What was that?" Mr. Harris asked, the certainty in his voice waning. "Something's wrong," Clara said, eyes darting to the window, where shadows melded with the outlines of night. "We can't stay here. We need to move now." The urgency in her tone broke through Jake's hesitation. He remembered his mother's face, the strength in her eyes. He couldn't let fear win. "Okay, let us go." As they made their way towards the back door, the journal tucked securely under his arm, Jake felt the weight of their mission solidifying. As long as they had each other and his mother's knowledge, they might have a chance at an sooner had they stepped outside than the sound of footsteps echoed through the yard. Someone was definitely coming, and this time, they weren't shadowy figures. They were voices, raised in anger and purpose, cutting through the night like a knife. Jake's heart hammered in his chest. We need to hurry. With a single glance towards Mr. Harris, they ran for the trees, driven by the urgency of the moment. Whatever secrets awaited them at the meeting place could be the key to unraveling the truth about his mother, or they could drive them into deeper peril, but one thing was certain, they were now in a race against time, and every second counted. What awaited them in the shadows? Would they uncover the truth, or was it already too late? The trees loomed around them like silent sentinels as they pushed deeper into the woods. Dark branches clutched at their clothes as if trying to pull them back, but Jake and Clara were far too focused to even notice. Mr. Harris was right behind them, breaths heavy with a mixture of fear and determination. Do you think they saw us? Clara whispered, glancing nervously around. I don't know, Jake replied, trying to keep his voice steady despite the thunderous pounding in his chest. But we can't let them catch us. Not now. They stumbled through the underbrush, limbs prickling from the cold air and the adrenaline coursing through their veins. It felt like they were running from a storm that threatened to swallow them whole. The footsteps behind them grew softer, but the voices mixed with the rustle of leaves, creating a symphony of chaos that sent shivers down Jake's spine. Is there a path? Mr. Harris asked, scanning the area. There's a stream nearby, Jake replied, recalling the rusted maps from his mother's journal. If we follow it, we might find the meeting place. They veered left, the sound of water growing clearer. As they navigated closer, the moon broke through the clouds, casting a silvery glow on everything around them. Tiny reflections danced on the surface of the water, mirroring their anxious faces. Over there. Clara pointed to a tangle of boulders that bordered the stream. It looks like a path. They hurried toward the rocky structure, hoping it would offer some shelter. As they slid down a small incline, Clara's foot caught on a root, and she fell hard. Clara. Jake rushed to her side. I'm fine, she assured, brushing the dirt off her palms. But he saw the flicker of fear in her eyes. Let us just go. They continued down the path, and with every step, the weight of their mission loomed heavier. Jake's mind raced. What could his mother have uncovered in a place like this? What dangers awaited them? Finally, they stumbled upon a clearing. In the center lay an old stone structure, half covered with vines, a stark contrast against the moonlit sky. It was unlike anything Jake had ever seen. There it is, Mr. Harris breathed, a hint of awe in his voice. This is it, Jake murmured, feeling a mix of excitement and dread. It felt like everything had led them here. They approached the structure cautiously, every glance behind them expecting the figures from earlier to emerge. But the darkness remained still, watching. Let us check it out, Clara said, pulling Jake and Mr. Harris forward. As they stepped inside, the air changed. It smelled of damp earth and secrets, and shadows played tricks on their eyes. They moved deeper into the belly of the structure, where the walls were rough stone, but decorated with strange carvings. Jake, Clara pointed at a particular symbol etched into the wall. This looks familiar, like something from the book. He leaned closer, recognition lighting up his mind. You're right. It's in Mom's journal. She wrote about it, but I can't remember what it meant. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed from outside, shaking the very ground beneath their feet. Did you hear that? Mr. Harris exclaimed, eyes darting toward the entrance. Yeah. We need to hurry. Jake's heart raced as he flipped through the journal, desperate to find the passage that might hold the key to whatever lay hidden here. Clara leaned closer, whispering encouragement as they scanned through the pages. Then Jake found the passage about a hidden artifact that could change everything. But there was more. Clara, it talks about a protector, someone who will be watching over this place. Her eyes widened. What does that mean? Are we safe? Before he could answer, shadows shifted once again. Suddenly, two figures emerged outside, illuminated by the ghostly light. Jake's breath caught in his throat as he recognized one of them. Jake! Clara! It was a voice filled with urgency, but one he didn't expect to hear. It was his mother. What had she encountered that made her return? And why were those figures circling her? Jake felt a rush of hope mixed with fear. Would this be the reunion they were desperate for? And at what cost? The questions swirled in his mind like a storm, leaving him both exhilarated and terrified. Jake, we need to move. Clara's grip tightened around his arm. Now. They were at a crossroads. The path to answers lay ahead, but what awaited them beyond the threshold of truth could forever alter their lives. Would they take that leap, or would the shadows consume them first? Jake felt the air turn electric with tension. His mother stood just outside, silhouetted against the dim light filtering through the trees. She looked worn, her face etched with lines that spoke of worry and struggle. Despite the joy that surged in his chest, doubt clawed at him. What had happened to her? Why had she come back to this haunted place? Mom! He called, his voice trembling. It echoed in the stillness, bouncing off the stone walls. She turned toward him, a flicker of recognition sparking in her eyes, but before she could step closer, the figures beside her lurked ominously. Jake, get back! She shouted, urgency lacing her tone. The warning sent a jolt of fear through him, and he instinctively moved toward Clara. What's happening? Clara whispered, panic rising in her voice. Just stay close, Jake responded, unable to take his eyes off his mother. He could see her lips moving, but the distance muffled her words. It felt as if they were separated by a chasm deeper than the woods surrounding them. Don't be afraid, his mother said, her voice finally clear as she stepped forward with caution. I've been searching for you. You shouldn't be here. We came to find you. Jake exclaimed, hope battling against confusion. You can't just leave us again. We need to know what's going on. I know, she replied, her gaze shifting to Mr. Harris, who stood awkwardly beside them, looking between the three of them and the shadows looming behind. But it's not safe. Jake's heart sank. What danger awaited them? Would they face whatever threat lingered just out of sight? He glanced at Clara, whose wide eyes mirrored his own fear. Those figures, are they after you? Clara asked, her voice barely a whisper. His mother's silence spoke volumes. Jake felt his stomach twist. We need to leave, Mom, he urged, knowing the urgency outweighed everything. I can't. Her voice shook, but there was no faltering in her gaze. There's something here, something I can't just abandon. But what is it? Jake pressed. If it's dangerous, we can't stay. This place is a part of our family's past, your heritage, she explained, her tone softening into that familiar warmth he'd missed for so long. I never meant for you to find out this way. You're not just linked to this place, Jake, there's a reason the Protector exists, a reason we're drawn here. Jake's mind raced. His mother had painted a picture of their family history in his mind, but this? It was so much more than stories. It was real, and greater than he ever imagined. Suddenly, the shadows shifted again, and the figures loomed closer, breaking the spell of their reunion. We don't have much time. His mother urged, panic creeping into her voice. We need to find the artifact, or they'll never let us go. Clara stepped up, resolute. Then let us get it. How do we find it? The symbols. The carvings on the wall, they hold the key. Jake exclaimed, feeling adrenaline surge within him. Right, let us go. Clara said, determination replacing fear. They turned to face the interior of the structure once more, ready to decipher the secrets hidden within, but a chilling voice cut through the air. You shouldn't have returned. Jake's heart stopped as a dark figure emerged from the shadows. The stern, threatening presence filled the doorway, blocking any escape. Who are you? Jake demanded, adrenaline pumping through his veins. The figure chuckled darkly, eyes gleaming with malice. I'm the one who watches over this place. And you've walked into a trap. Jake realized in that moment that their journey had only just begun. The night was still young, but the confrontation would determine their fate. What really lurked beyond the stories? What sacrifices would they have to make to unveil the truth about their family's legacy? As the shadows closed in, he gripped Clara's hand tightly. It was now or never. Would they unravel the mystery or be consumed by the darkness? The air inside the old stone structure was thick with tension, like a storm about to break. Jake could feel the weight of the unknown pressing down, urging him to act. The figure in the doorway loomed larger, his voice chilling as he spoke. You think you can find what you seek? You have no idea of the forces at play. A flood of emotions surged within Jake: fear, anger, and an unyielding sense of protectiveness for his mother and Clara. We're not afraid of you, Jake shouted, his voice ringing with a bravery he didn't fully feel. The dark figure smirked, his expression twisted in mockery. You'll regret your defiance. This is not just about you. As he stepped closer, revealing a face etched with deception and power, Jake turned to his mother. Mom, what is this place? He asked, heart racing. It's tied to our family, she replied, urgency in her tone. The artifact is the key to stopping them, but it must be done with great care. It holds secrets that can either save us or destroy us. Clara stepped forward, eyebrows furrowed in determination. We're not backing down, and we'll find that artifact, no matter the cost. You don't scare us. The dark figure let out a haunting laugh that echoed through the structure, sending chills running down Jake's spine. How naive. The Protector will not let you leave with it. What do you mean by the Protector? Jake demanded, the pieces of the puzzle struggling to fit in his mind. Enough with your questions. The figure waved a hand dismissively, his presence shifting ominously. You've already crossed into my territory. You will pay the price. In an instant, shadows surged from the walls and coiled around Jake, Clara, and his mother. Jake felt the coldness seep into his bones, threatening to crush him. Clara grabbed his arm tightly, her eyes fierce. No. We have to stay together. With a surge of determination, Jake closed his eyes and thought of all the reasons they were there. His mother's love, the yearning for truth, and the community that had become part of their lives. With every ounce of strength, he yelled, "We want to be consumed." Suddenly, the dark shadows recoiled as if struck, and Jake found himself instinctively reaching for the journal, the words swimming before him in a frenzy. The symbols. They're not just markings. They're part of the artifact. Clara's eyes lit up. Yes. The Protector is part of the legacy. It won't harm us if we unlock its true potential. His mother nodded, a surge of hope igniting within her gaze. Together, we can awaken it. Draw on the strength of our ancestors, the Protectors before us. Jake stepped forward, adrenaline propelling him. He approached the wall, fingers grazing the carvings as memories flooded him, echoes of laughter from etched scenes of his family's battles and victories. One symbol, reminiscent of a tree, pulsed beneath his fingertips. Help me. He shouted to Clara and his mother, exuding fierce unity. They joined him, tracing the symbol together, invoking the very essence of their shared heritage. The dark figure grew frantic, trembling with rage. No. You will not succeed. But as their hands pressed together, light emanated from the carvings, a brilliant surge pushing back against the encroaching shadows. Yes. We are united. Jake shouted, feeling the warmth envelop them, breaking the hold of the dark presence. The structure shook violently as waves of energy swept through them, binding theirs together in solidarity. Each echo reverberated with the voices of those who had come before, the Protectors who had safeguarded their community's truths. In a blinding flash, a pulse of energy burst forth. Jagged light waves collided with the dark figure, illuminating the space with fierce light. You cannot take what does not belong to you. His mother yelled, her voice strong and unwavering. The shadows writhed, disintegrating under the light as the Protector manifested, a radiant figure emerging from the heart of the artifact. You have shown courage, and as a family, you may take your place among the Protectors, they proclaimed, casting powerful protection over the Trio.in a seamless motion, the shadows vanished, leaving behind clarity and peace. Jake's heart soared at the sight of his mother, the essence of unity and strength anchoring him. He turned to her, breathless. We did it. Yes, we did. Together we uncovered the truth, his mother replied, her eyes shining with joy. Clara laughed through tears of relief. We fought back. As the guardian figure faded, its warmth lingered, signaling a new beginning not just for Jake, Clara, and his mother, but for the entire community. They emerged from the structure, the sun breaking through the clouds, painting the sky in brilliant hues of orange and gold. With newfound strength and purpose, they knew their journey was far from over. They would unearth the stories of their past, reclaim their future, and together illuminate the truth hidden in plain sight. As they walked back towards Lakeside, Jake felt a spark of hope igniting within him, no longer just the boy searching for his mother, but a protector in his own right, and in that moment, with the world before him, he realized this was only the beginning of their story. Now, if you want to keep finding out what happens next, you need to subscribe now to the channel. This is the moment to show your support for more incredible stories like this one. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and make sure more people can witness these transformations. Be sure to comment below with your thoughts and feelings about this ending, what resonated with you, and don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Together, let us build a community ready to stand up and fight for the truth.